Ash from Super Videos, back for another video for Season 9 of The Walking Dead. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at two new sneak peeks that were released. So the first sneak peek, I think, actually takes place right after the sneak peek that was released on Talking Dead, where we have Henry revealing just a little bit too much information about the kingdom when he's talking to Lydia, and Lydia's opening up to him, and at the same time, Henry's really opening up to Lydia and revealing too much information about where the kingdom is and putting the kingdom in a vulnerable state. And this sneak peek takes place right after it, where we have Daryl. He's pretty angry at Henry about what he just told Lydia. I'll play the clip and I'll talk about it throughout. Now, I won't put all of the clip in there. I'll just put sections where I'm actually talking about it because I don't want this video to be flagged. So, this first part, we basically have Daryl telling him that, he shouldn't have revealed that information, that he should be thinking about his family, and doing this puts them in a vulnerable state and puts a big target on Kingdom's back. Obviously, Henry shows that he's naive and shows that he's not really meant for this world in a way, because he didn't even think about it. Like, it didn't even cross his mind that that might happen. And then Henry suddenly realizes that Daryl was actually listening to them, and he basically gets a little surprised about that. But this does prove that Henry was not in on Daryl's plan, and this was Daryl's plan all along, but Henry had nothing to do with it.
See what she'd say to you. You were using me. Yeah, and it was working too.
Henry says, "You were using me," and Daryl says, "Yes, and it was working too." So that just shows that Daryl was actually using Henry as a device to get information from Lydia, and that he was looking at him as a tool in a way, which obviously makes sense why he would do, but at the same time, this does make Henry a little uncomfortable, and it does hurt his feelings just a little bit. But then, again, it was a smart decision for Daryl to do that.
She's a good person who got messed up out there. She's right about you know that? You're an asshole.
And then we have the end with Henry saying she's a good person. She just got messed up out there, referring to Lydia and, the things she has to do to survive. But then Henry says, maybe he was right about you, you're an asshole. Which was kind of funny, but at the same time, you don't want to be calling Daryl an asshole, man. Now, the second sneak peek features Magnus Group. It takes place at night, and we have Magnus Group looking for Luke and Alden. Now, I'm not sure where this specific sneak peek fits in terms of the other sneak peek that was released, where we have Magnus Group, Tara, and some Hilltoppers looking for Luke and Alden. And that one is at daytime. And they find Luke and Alden's horses, and the horses are dead, and it seems like some were stabbed, some were taken down by walkers, and Tara makes the decision for them to go back to Hilltop because they don't know what they're dealing with. We have a bit of tension from Magnus Group because they want to stick around and still look for Luke and Alden. Obviously, specifically Luke, not necessarily Alden. But I'm not sure where this specific sneak peek fits in. It could be the night before, or it could be after. They could have stayed and still looked for Luke and Alden after that point. So I'm not sure exactly where this fits in, but we do have a few very interesting reveals in this sneak peek. Let's get into it. We have Yumiko saying, "I keep thinking of Coalport." Obviously, they're talking about where they were before. It could be a community, it could be a city, it could be anything. But if we research Coalport, we can see it's a village in England, in the UK. Now, that's very interesting. I don't think this makes a lot of sense because I don't think that they would be able to cross the ocean and get to America from England. It just doesn't seem likely, and none of them have accents to, tell us that they are actually from there. Doesn't really make sense, but Coalport is also a county in Pennsylvania, United States. Now, if we take a look at the map, we can see that kind of makes more sense for that to be the case. Because if they were in Pennsylvania, then it makes sense why they would end up being in Virginia or even Washington, wherever the survivors are at this point. That's a bit more likely than England, I would say. Magna says, if we haven't left our post, we'll be dead like the others. They were at their post, maybe looking over the community, maybe on watch, and maybe it was taken over by the dead, and all of the survivors there died. We have a bit of back and forth between them about whether they should have stayed or not, and whether they made the right choice to not stay and leave. But Yumiko was pretty much in favor of them staying and helping the community, but Magna and Kelly, they think that they should have left because they had no choice. They would have died if they stayed. Then we have a walker attacking Kelly. Magna kills the walker, and we have a bunch of walkers that are surrounding them. Now we don't know whether whispers are amongst them or not, and whether a whisper actually helped the walkers get there to attack them in the first place. But that was basically the sneak peek. This was a very interesting sneak peek, some very good, interesting backstory for the group, for Magna's group, and also the other sneak peek was very interesting as well. Obviously, episode 10 is going to air tonight. I'm very excited for it, but for those of you that don't know, we will have a live stream Q&A today at 1 p.m. Mountain Time. So if you are interested in joining us live, make sure to join us live and ask your questions. That's it for this video. See you next time for another super video. If you like what you see, press like, subscribe for more content, and press the bell button to receive notifications for daily uploads. And while you're at it, check out my gaming channel, Jedi Age Gaming.